Nice. Well, welcome everyone. Looking forward to having 8 weeks with you. Why do I look so dark on the right-hand side? Is that okay?
Everything looks fine on mine.
Oh, the stream over there looks a little bit dark to me. But anyway, okay, if it looks good. This is the first stream of the 8, and the first stream there's always a little bit of shakedown. So I see that you're going ahead and telling me your name. We got a St. Louis Cardinals fan, obviously, in the mix with Sydney. So there's usually a little bit of technical issues sometimes with the first one, especially since we just reconfigured my whole studio here today. And I'll give you a little peek at my studio here today. I'll let you kind of see what we're doing here and what we've got set up. I see Allison. I see 15 people with us at the moment. There are 25 in the class, and I'm expecting 24 in attendance, unless somebody at the last minute decides to withdraw. We have one on an athletic trip, so he, in this particular situation, won't be in attendance today. Now, one thing to note about this live stream is that if you need to miss for whatever reason, it's a lot more fun to be here and you get credit just for being here and participating. But if you have to miss, you definitely have the option afterwards to go view the live stream the next day or days after, to then write up a quick summary of the live stream and then post it to the quiz that comes along with the live stream link. You do not have to fill out the summary if you're in attendance here. Now, I usually wait until the first day of the next week. In other words, the week is fully finished before I actually grade it. So don't get concerned about me posting a grade right after tonight. It usually takes me about a week to get the grade put in there for it. If you notice that we get to the next live stream and the grade's not posted, send me a quick email. We'll make sure it's corrected. I'll look at the text of the chat and we'll make sure that you were there and just give you credit. I'm pretty easygoing on it. We talk about a lot of good topics that are important for the class. And the reason they're important for the class is because blockchain is moving so fast, so far forward, that it really needs a chance to talk about current events. Books get old, they get stale. Notice the book that you have with us is not a really lengthy book. It has good foundational information. But we'll talk about a lot of the current stuff that's going on and a lot of the new innovations in the weekly live stream. So the weekly live stream becomes pretty important at that point. Okay. Well, we got 16 concurrent viewers, and how many? Can you count real quick, Robert, the number of people who have signed in? Because if that's 16, then it looks like we've got about what we can.
It looks like we actually have 17 people.
Yep, and I see 17 concurrent viewers on the dashboard.
Looks good.
Okay, if this is all we're going to get, that's fine. People can view it later and get credit for it that way. Okay, very good. So what I want to do is introduce myself, and I want to introduce also Robert, who you'll hear his voice occasionally. Say hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Well, okay. We're starting to have fun already, I guess. Robert helps me in all things technical when I'm working on being the voice for the live stream. Amy says hi. So Robert, you'll hear his voice. Later on, we're going to go ahead and hook up a webcam so that you can see his face when he talks. He is going to be the one that says Pharos blockchain and cryptocurrency. When he says hello, that is Robert saying hello there. he's logged in as on the blockchain account because he's one of the admins to the blockchain account. So this blockchain and cryptocurrency account has a lot of previously aired live streams. It also has a lot of smaller chopped up pieces of live streams that are important. Some of those you'll go ahead and view during the class because they are important enough. Others will just be there for reference if you want to go peruse or browse any of those, so that you can get a little better foundation of what blockchain is that we're talking about. Allison joined us. So what I want to do is basically give you a feel for who I am. I just recently retired from Boeing, and what that means is that I've got a whole bunch of free time to make videos, and so my primary thing is a different channel than the blockchain channel. It's called Pharos Technology. It basically talks about Microsoft Access and going to be expanding into other Microsoft applications like Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Now that I have some more free time to devote to it. So that channel is almost monetized. None of the other channels you use here, the Pharos blockchain and cryptocurrency, that's not monetized. If they throw you ads, those are ads that are getting YouTube revenue, but not me. That's not the point or purpose of the blockchain and cryptocurrency thing, and that's mostly to house our live streams. Okay, so Robert, why don't you kind of show them the studio. So the studio, the camera that is facing me on a normal one is faced at the green screen toward the back of me. I also have the brick wall to the left of me where we sometimes film against the brick wall. And yes, I do have 4 monitors. I'm a little bit of a geek. I build my own computers. I have for 3 decades, since they were 286s. And you might not have even know what a 286 is, actually. What?
I'd like to make a small edit. You have 4 monitors so far. The 5th one has not been installed yet.
I've just been tattled on. Leave it to him to do that. Yes, we do plan on installing a television so that my monitor can, when I monitor the station, I can see it a little bit bigger instead of putting it on one of my local monitors and looking aside all the time. So anyway, green screen to the back, brick wall to the side. Generally, this screen to the back, below the I think sign, that is the statistics for the technology channel. And so the technology channel is the one that we're working on getting monetized, and within the next 2 months, should be no longer than by the end of October, possibly quite a bit earlier. It should be monetized, and we'd have our first chance at getting a check. Probably be a few pennies. I've heard the pay isn't all that good, but we're gonna work on getting there. So, all right. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I am technology savvy. My doctorate, my PhD, is in management of information systems technology, which includes the hardware and software to promote business systems. And when I was with Boeing, I worked in business systems, developing, testing, and deploying software for finance. And so 20 years worth of experience there. Monitors, we love them. Yes, Allison, we do. Definitely we do. So what else? Anything else? Okay. Robert, why don't you kind of introduce yourself? Let them know who you are.
Sure.
Can't see him yet, but you'll see him later.
Yeah, I'm the tech savvy guy for the tech savvy guy. Maybe. I don't know. I'm the editor for the channels, and I help run the live streams, make sure they are going well. So if anything breaks, it's my fault. And I only have 2 monitors. at the moment.
Yep. Can't have the underling have more computer. In fact, I just rebuilt my computer.
Go back to this.
We're back to here.
We're back
Okay.
here, sorry.
I just rebuilt my computer. My computer was getting old. It was almost 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. I don't know how long ago. Anyway, it wouldn't qualify for Windows 11, so I knew it was about time to replace it. So, what CPU did I get? An i9.
Yeah, it was an i9
13th generation.
13700, 13 something like that. Yeah,
with
enviable.
Yeah.
128 gigs of RAM. A couple of terabytes in SSDs. Yeah.
Yep, couple terabyte SSD. In other words, it's a monster machine with a 4070 video card and a 3070 video card. So I can handle the live streams. I can handle the editing. Robert also got a 4070 in his. And your backup is a what?
It's only a 2060, but
backup is a 2060, but it works. So yeah, Robert, like you said, he edits the videos. So whenever I put out a video for Access or for blockchain here, or for my economics channel, which I have, any of those I toss over the fence to him. He pretties them up, makes sure that he gets all the ums and ahs and all the mistakes that I make out of the videos, and then we go and publish them. So that's all about me. Now, you are asked in the first week to post a video about yourself. I do give you some prompt questions. Anything else you want to tell me about what you're doing here at Lindenwood and what you want to do for your life is great. I enjoy watching those and listening to those, and you generally get to those on Monday after the first week, so they're usually posted by Sunday. So tell me a little bit about yourself. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be with your phone that you record it. Just make sure that I can hear you. Make sure the room is light enough that I can see you, and that's good enough. No high quality presentations needed there. So, all right. Now, questions appear in the chat. So hopefully you're going to be active in sending chat messages to me. I'm going to also be sending out polls during the live stream. We've got a couple polls lined up that we'll throw at you, and there is the first poll. What I'd like to know is, where do you live? You can consider where you live before you came to school, and local in Missouri or local in Illinois or other inside the U.S. or other outside the U.S. And it looks like at this point, 76% are saying that they are in Missouri. So that's very good. Do you see, Robert, how many responses we're getting?
It looks like we have 17 votes.
Okay. Everybody's chipped in, it looks like. We got 17 viewers. Okay. So
looks like a little bit more directly in Missouri than I expected. I expected a couple of foreigners.
Okay. And so how many others are outside of Missouri or Illinois?
Oh gosh, I'd have to do the math. 18% are in Illinois, 6% are distant, so I'm guessing that's just one person. Out of 17, yeah, that's just one person.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, Fejo, interesting name. St. Louis, yes, St. Louis. We can weep for our Cardinals this year and hope for a better year next year. It seems to be a rebuilding year. Definitely a rebuilding year. Anyway, okay, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. Find out what you know, what you don't know, and kind of give you a little bit of an idea of direction. So we're going to play a game called Kahoot. Now, what that means is you need to grab your cell phone, and you need to go to a place, to a website called Kahoot.io?
IT.
Kahoot.it. So if you go to Kahoot.it, I think Robert's going to send me in split screen mode so you can see Kahoot, and it looks like he says we're already there, so it'll be getting out to you. There we go. And so grab your phone. If there's 17 of you, I'll just wait until there's 17 logged into the game. If you are viewing this live stream on your phone, hopefully navigating over to Kahoot.it will put the live stream down in the corner, and then you can view the work with the Kahoot as it's down in the corner, and you can watch the rest of it. Okay. Yes, Amy, never enough monitors. My wife gives me a hard time about that all the time. Anyway, so I'm going to get you. There's a game pin once you get to Kahoot.it that you'll put in. That game pin is 806908. Robert is also going to put that in the chat. So if you see it easier there, you can. Otherwise, it's on the screen. 806908. And Brock and Sanel. Okay. Wow, people joining quick. Okay, got 9 people so far. 10. 11. Okay. Oh, Robert's joining too. Or do we have a Robert in the class? Robert, did you join?
That was me joining, yes.
Okay, so there'll be 18 in the class, so we're looking for one more person. Did Amber? Amber's name is crossed out for some reason.
Probably just special characters.
Could be. Okay, we got 17. Do we hear 18? 18. No. We'll go with, there we go. All right. Excellent. 19. Wow, somebody joined. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Or somebody's double dipping and logging in twice. Either one.
There you go. Twice the chance.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And question number 1. Blockchain for Business, week number 1. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. True or false? All cryptocurrencies are on a blockchain, but not all blockchains involve cryptocurrency. True is blue, false is red.
And as you see, we're matching colors on the screens. Whatever color he says should represent the same color on your screen.
Yep, on your phone or tablet or whatever you're using to join the Kahoot. And we have 14 answers in. And you have about 60 seconds. So the time lag between my streaming getting to you shouldn't be a problem. We worked on that several times in order to get that there. As soon as we have all the answers in, it automatically flips so it doesn't go the whole time. So we have 18 waiting for a 19th answer in 13 seconds. Okay, now everybody that gets it correct, the people who answer the quickest get the best points, okay? So true is the correct answer. 5 probably needs a little bit of explanation. The whole point of this class is that not all blockchains involve cryptocurrency. That's where it got its start. When blockchain was first invented, it basically was deployed on a blockchain. Although blockchain was actually invented quite a while ago, back in the 1990s, or was it 80s? 90s, 80s? Somewhere in there, a long time ago anyway.
Yeah, it was ancient.
Okay.
But never implemented anywhere. It was only theoretical.
Exactly. It was a theoretical data structure. Blockchain ended up helping solve the problem of the double spend issue when they've ever tried to implement a currency on a website or a currency in the cloud. And so to prevent double spend, they invented encryption. Well, they didn't invent encryption. They deployed encryption along with blockchain and came up with Bitcoin being the first cryptocurrency. But now business has basically stolen the concept of blockchain and started deploying it in the business realm too to solve a lot of different problems. And we're going to talk about that in our next section. All right, so let's move on. Next question. The scoreboard. Okay, Robert. See, Robert has an unfair advantage. He's done this 3 or 4 times, so he'll probably deliberately answer a question wrong so that he starts falling down the thing, but he wants to monitor it, make sure there's nothing wrong. So what is an NFT? A non-functioning trade is red. Blue, a computer-generated image, or green, a non-fungible token, or yellow, a network-facilitated trade. And we have 7 answers in. See, we're going to have a few show-offs, I'm sure, in class. Those show-offs, know quite a bit about the cryptocurrency side of thing, and an NFT is kind of on the cryptocurrency side, although there's a lot of non-fungible tokens that are used to represent other things in the business world as well.
Bonus points for anybody who can name the particular image that is on the screen.
Oh, really?
Not really, but
Okay. All right, so we don't have anybody that lives outside of the U.S. Just everybody's inside the U.S. or mostly Illinois or Missouri. That's good. Okay, non-fungible token, and I gave away the answer in the middle of me explaining it, so that's terrible. Okay, Bored Apes Yacht Club was the image. Yes, Volaris, Windsoul. What's your real name? Never Enough Monitors.
That one's
and Brandon.
Hanks. Yep.
Brandon Hanks. Very good, Brandon. That is true. So Brandon's probably one of our experts that's going to just be on the top of the podium all the time. Anyway, so an NFT is a non-fungible token. That is a really, really weird finance term. Non-fungible, meaning it is unique. Bitcoin is not a non-fungible token. Bitcoin actually is a fungible token, meaning there are a lot of Bitcoins that are actually identical to each other except for their address on the blockchain, whereas a non-fungible token is an address on the blockchain that points to something unique. And that's the difference there. Let's go next. And there goes Robert dropping. And we have Brock on top and Brandon in third. Okay. Lamar in fifth. Good. Robert dropped himself out, so we have a real scoreboard there. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Ebony was the highest climber. Very good, Ebony. Okay. Question 3. What is the difference between a token and a non-fungible token? Now we'll see how many of you were just listening just now. An NFT is a unique location on a blockchain. That's red. Blue is tokens do not have value, where NFTs do is blue. Yellow is they're the same. They're both tokens. And green is NFT are specifically tied to an image. So what's the difference between a token and a non-fungible token? I always like this first Kahoot because it kind of gets you immersed a little bit in a non-threatening way. There's no grades that are attached to knowing or not knowing things by now, but it's a good way for me to be able to introduce quite a few topics. So anyway, yes, the correct answer is an NFT is a unique location on a blockchain. And that unique location on the blockchain then usually points or has attached to it something that is unique as well. So let's move on. Any questions that you have, you can pop them in the text message. Do you also give answers to test questions like this? Very good, Brandon.
You'll try not to, right?
Yeah, I try not to. Yeah, there you go. Brandon is now risen to number 1 there. And Sean M. has the highest answer streak, although there's probably others that have answered 3 correct in a row.
And it's a very tight top 3 there, too. All within
they're
50
very,
points.
Very, very close. Okay. So you know who your competitors are there. Okay, number 4. What's the difference between fiat currency, and cryptocurrency? Red, fiat currency has a set quantity. Crypto is infinite with enough mining. Or blue, fiat currency cannot be used to purchase real goods. Or yellow, fiat currency can be printed at any time. Crypto is governed by a rule set. And green, cryptocurrency cannot be used to purchase real goods. So the question basically is, do you know what a fiat currency is, and do you know what cryptocurrency is, and what it can be used for? Which one of those answers is the most true? I love that picture of the coin there. In cryptography we trust.
I love generally the fact that every single article on Bitcoin or whatever has a picture of it, supposedly a Bitcoin or something, but coin is the not real part.
Yeah.
There have been lots of scans of, get your own Bitcoin in the mail, and they just mail you a piece of worthless metal, and it's pretty funny.
Exactly, that's not worth anything. Okay, number 5 was our correct answer, but I fooled a lot of people into taking number 7. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum and several others have a limit to the number of Bitcoin that can be mined. Now, mining is becoming a little bit of a misnomer too now, with Ethereum turning over to proof of stake, which we'll learn a lot about as the class goes on. Proof of work is a Bitcoin a Bitcoin type of consensus method, and I'm hesitant to use those words because you don't have exposure to those words. Maybe some of you do, but fiat currency can be printed anytime. Our federal government did a lot of that during COVID, which is part of the reason why we've got a huge amount of inflation. And they claim to have it under control, but I better not get into the politics of that. But we'll move on. Crypto is governed by a rule set. In other words, there's a certain limit to the number of Bitcoin that will be mined before they stop mining them anymore. Okay. Next question.
Well, before we hit that, I'd like to add a little bit to the red answer there. There's 2 parts to the answer. Fiat currency is a set quantity. We know that's false because they can print as much as they want. See the Ukraine war. Before that, see coronavirus. See anything the U.S. government has ever done. We just print more money, right? The second half is a bit more obscure, and I think that's where we caught a lot of people up. Crypto can be infinite with enough mining. It, again, depends on the rule set. It's not that that answer is false, but yellow is more true. There can be cryptos that you can mine infinitely, but the rule set matters more.
Okay, very good. Very good. Now, can everybody hear Robert well enough? If you can't, let me know, okay? We're checking volume for... Tristan passed you, Brandon. Not by much, but she passed you. Everybody else stayed the same. Okay, very good. Next question, 5 out of 10. Which of these industries does not have a large-scale blockchain solution? Okay, so we got red, farm-to-table food tracking. Blue, all of the above, blockchain is everywhere. Yellow, international banking transfers. Global shipping is that kind of sea blue. Traffic monitoring is green, and weather tracking is purple. All right. I'll bet you we have unanimous. Everybody gets this one right. Almost. The predominant number, yes, everything's everywhere. We literally have, and we're going to talk about some of these examples even today. So stay tuned. Our next section, I'll show you examples of most of these. All right, so what do we got? Everything stayed the same. Oh boy. Okay. We got a real stiff competition among those top 5 there. And Tristan has the longest streak with 5 correct answers in a row, but the others probably have too. Okay, 6 out of 10. What are some of the benefits of blockchain for business? Red, provides human readable data storage. Blue, the chain structure allows for seamless branching of data. Yellow, always open system for public viewing and audits. Green, creates a trustworthy database of information that can be saved and edited. And sea blue, or cyan, stores information in a single authoritative location and to prevent data loss. And purple, none of the above. Don't like any of those answers. Answer purple.
I think we're going to catch a few more with this one.
You think so?
Yeah, I think some of those just take a little bit of noodling to
Yeah.
decide whether they're true or not, you know?
Okay. This one drives toward the features. Boy, we spread them all out, didn't we? All right. Wow. Okay. None of the above is the correct answer, so 2 of you got that.
Now you get to explain why.
I get
Each
to
one of them
explain
is
why.
wrong.
No data storage is ever human readable if it's on a computer. Okay. Always an open system. Some systems are closed. You don't always have public viewing of blockchain for business data sets. It's usually always permissioned. Now, Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin, you can look at transactions all the way since the Genesis block, the very first block. But blockchain for business is quite a bit different. Stores information in a single authoritative source? No, we have a thing called a distributed ledger that makes blockchain so strong. And the whole idea is that it's not in a single authoritative location. Blue, the chain structure allows for seamless branching of data. No, the only time you branch the data is when you specifically make a mistake or want to correct a mistake, and you do a hard fork or a thing called a soft fork, okay? And we'll get into those terminology later. Creates a trustworthy database of information that can be saved and edited. No, it cannot be edited. That's the whole point of blockchain. It becomes immutable. So green is where I trapped most of you, and the edited part was the one that was wrong. So none of the above. Okay, very good. Very good. And we had one person change shift areas. Robert, stop it. Okay, Tristan's still on top. Brandon and Lamar. True or false? Satoshi Nakamoto invented the blockchain and implemented it in Bitcoin. Blue for true, red for false. I'll bet you we catch 2 or 3 people here too.
I'm betting the votes will be 50-50.
You think so?
That's my guess.
Okay, we'll see. I gave everybody a clue at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? But see, they wouldn't have known it.
And that might have given it away if somebody was waiting.
Yep.
Maybe.
One thing about where I live in Arkansas right now, and look, it's a little more lopsided than 50-50, Robert. Anybody
Oof.
here surprised?
Oof.
What was wrong about that statement? Robert, you want to tell them what's wrong about that statement?
Sure. Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin. Did not invent blockchain.
Right. He used the blockchain technology, used encryption technology. He happened to put them all together to create Bitcoin and make it a viable currency. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. Tristan must have been one of the ones that answered it right, huh? Up 6 places, James M. is the highest climber. So James must have made a lot of progress on that particular question. All right. 8 out of the 10 here. What are the largest cryptocurrencies by market cap? Tether, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and BNB. So red is Tether, blue is Ethereum, yellow is Bitcoin, and BNB, Binance what? I can't remember what BNB
Binance
is.
Network, something.
Green. Okay. I think you have to put them in order, don't you? Are these the ones you got to put in order?
Yes, you have to put them in.
You have to drag them around or something?
Well, yeah, you have to order them. Oh gosh, I did not revise this one before this class.
What happened?
I didn't check the markets,
Oh.
so you guys have to remember what it was like 6 months ago, I guess.
Or hopefully they stay the same. I
Hopefully
don't
they stay the
think
same.
they've changed.
I apologize.
The top two haven't changed.
That's definitely true. If you don't get the top two, oof. Luckily, the answers are scaled appropriately, or the points are scaled appropriately.
Oh, people are getting their books. Okay. So Bitcoin is the number one. Ethereum is number two. And what is this? Oh, interesting. Tether is number three and BNB is number four. I don't think they've changed yet, although we could pull up CoinCap. Yeah, why don't you pull up CoinCap? So this is the order that they came in, if you could see the screen. At least 6 months ago, and I don't believe that that's changed. I think Tether's still up there above Binance, especially with the trouble that Binance has been having. What?
I shouldn't have said anything. It is the same order as before by significant margins. Each one is more than double the one below it.
All righty. All right. Did we change? Tristan is staying on top. Oof. All right. All right. Here we go next. Almost done. What organization has already rolled out a CBDC, or a central bank digital currency? The World Economic Forum, the Federal Reserve, the International Monetary Fund, or the Council on Foreign Relations? World Economic Forum is red, Federal Reserve is blue, International Monetary Fund is yellow, and Council on Foreign Relations is green. And just so that you know, the picture of the coin is, or the emblem of the coin is pictured on the screen. And the International Monetary Fund came up with what they called the Unicoin. And they are saying that the world ought to pattern their cryptocurrency, their CBDCs. In other words, when the Federal Reserve puts one out for the US, or the European equivalent of the Federal Reserve puts out their CBDC, that they pattern it after the International Monetary Fund's Unicoin. And so they are pushing it out. So it's out there. I'm going to be doing a lot of commentary on this. In fact, I'm going to take Unicoin and I'm going to explain all of the whys, wherefores, and what about on my finance channel, but that's still up and coming. Okay. And the Federal Reserve, by the way, what you might have seen in the news about the Federal Reserve is that they did implement a funds transfer coin, or funds transfer system. What did they call that, Robert? Do you remember? Mm-hmm. And they did it in July. And they rolled it out, and everybody was saying, oh no, it's going to be the CBDC. Well, no, it was not. They tried to say at the very beginning that it was not the central bank digital currency. Biden has instructed his finance people in his cabinet to investigate how to roll out a CBDC, although there has been an awful lot of serious backlash about implementing one already among many conservatives, especially. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Brandon is correct. Yeah, it came up with FedNow.
FedNow. Thank you. FedNow. Yeah, that was not a cryptocurrency, and it was not a central bank digital currency. The difference is that the central bank digital currency that gets pushed out will be for you and me and everybody else, and that we'll use it a lot like we use Bitcoin. It'll be on our phones, it'll be on our laptops and our computers, and we'll we'll use it just like we would Bitcoin and paying people. The Cash App CEO died around the time they announced FedNow. Interesting.
That sounds like a conspiracy. We don't believe in those things.
All right. Okay, interesting. Next, the last question. And Brandon, were you the only one that answered it right or something? Okay. No, somebody answered it right, I'm sure.
Yeah, looks like Ebony got it too.
All right. Next, the last question. Multi-select. What are the features of a central bank digital currency? Red is universally accepted. Blue is none of these. Yellow is immutable. Green is distributed. Aqua is private, and purple is going to be limited quantity. So this is multi-select, so choose those that are the most correct.
Was it Britain or Canada that last semester rolled theirs out that we were talking about? Do you remember which one it was?
Britain.
It was Britain?
Yeah, they're the closest anyway to rolling it out.
They had their preview paper.
And China has rolled out a significant amount of the central bank yuan.
Mm-hmm. Now there are several
currency.
others. There's one in, is it Nigeria, I think, or a couple of African countries, a couple of South American countries that have done their own thing. So we'll end up probably covering most all of those at some point.
And we've got people spread out all over the place. So none of the above. It definitely is not universally accepted. It's definitely not going to be immutable. Meaning they can edit it anytime they want to. It's definitely not going to be private because you and I are going to use it. And the government can peek in and look at it anytime they want to. It's doubtful that it's going to be distributed. That's the reason why they call it the central bank digital currency. And I doubt it that it's going to be limited quantity. Just like they can print at will today, they're going to be able to mine or deploy new coin at will in the future, I'm sure.
My conclusion to all this is to say that a CBDC is not a cryptocurrency in the way we've defined cryptocurrencies. CBDCs will likely be a encrypted coin or encrypted token, just like the gems you buy on mobile apps. It'll be the same thing. The company controls their distribution, their price, who gets them, when they get them. You pay in other forms of cash to get them, and they exist. There's no guarantees past that.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So next, blockchain for business, week 1, third place, Sean. Okay, and second place, Tristan. And do we have Brandon on the top? Yeah, Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Okay, so Brandon is the person you write to get the answers to the quizzes and stuff. So Brandon, you're going to be busy. I'm totally joking. Absolutely joking. Okay. So that handles the Kahoot. We're at 6:43. So let's quickly go into the last subject. And yes, I do. How do I don't want to play again. I just leave, right?
Yep.
Okie dokie. This is a website here that I am going to post in the notes for the for this particular live stream. But I want to bring up a presentation to kind of share how big blockchain use is for business. Okay. Now, it is important to know that the reason why it's a mandatory course in most of your coursework, the reason is simply because blockchain is a significant issue when it comes to new kinds of data sets and data repositories in the future for business. So, how big is it? Well, let's give you a little bit of an example. I'll put this in, of course, you would do that to me. Just let me grab this and get it over into the right screen. All right, there we go. Now we're full screen on the right screen. Okay, so the first thing, this is taken from a site called 101 Blockchain. It is back in 2021, so it's a little bit aged, and I'll show you exactly where it was aged. Okay, the whole point here is that there are several areas that blockchain does really, really well. Supply chains is huge. There's a lot of deployment for blockchains that are managing supply chains, all the way from Home Depot to several other companies. Healthcare, you've got Japanese healthcare company that has adopted it completely so that their customers, their patients have total portability from hospital to hospital and doctor to doctor within the particular healthcare system that deployed it. Data integrity in the transportation industry. It's used for data protection as well as e-commerce and different trading platforms. The most notable one is a trading platform in Australia, which is interesting. They put basically their stock trading on the platform. Okay, so in e-commerce you got the Alibaba Group. Now, I don't know if there's anybody that is not familiar with Alibaba, because Alibaba is huge in China. It's a Chinese company, and they ship goods and services all over the world. Okay. Moving on from there, Ford also leverages blockchain for their mobile applications, and also to be able to move applications from place to place. This one's a little bit complex in the way that they implemented it. They wanted to be able to take their ability to use technology from one place to another, like one factory to another factory, and build in the ability to see that technology from one place to another. We'll get in more detail on that a little bit later. Data integrity, Apple patented a blockchain technology for the time stamping of their data. So when people upload, let's say, to the cloud, update to iTunes and so forth, you're going to be encountering a blockchain there that timestamps probably for copyright purposes, individual films and audio sections. Okay. Tencent, which is a related company to Alibaba, it's also Chinese. It's a financing company in China, and they want to verify authenticity, and they want to ensure tax compliance too, just like our IRS does. All right, British Airways also using another one to tag and add metadata to flight data to verify travelers, using it for identity management. Okay. AIA Group, that's a hard one to say fast. It's a bank assurance, is an assurance company for banks. Basically, it takes out the middleman, is what this does. Middlemen like title companies and verification of credit scores, those type of banking type of things. Okay, and Facebook, they're in the exploration phase, at least in 2021, to enhance data security. Alrighty, data protection, a little bit different, but Google is also using it to help protect their cloud service and cloud data. Okay, and in that case, Google would be using it for a situation where they need to make sure the data remains unchanged, and that's a significant problem, especially in the art world and in places where you want to make sure that the images weren't modified before they get to their final destination, that they stay fresh the way that they were originally created. Intellectual property management, when you want patents and your intellectual property within a corporation managed and protected. This one company here is obviously another Chinese company is using it to protect their intellectual property. Healthcare, I mentioned the one in Japan, United Healthcare, who is very prominent in California in one case, and I've seen them through the midsection of the country as well. Also, MetLife, Metropolitan Life, is using it to store medical records for the life insurance applications. Okay. Transportation. Toyota is using it for their autonomous cars. One of my videos that's on the blockchain channel talks about the use of it for autonomous cars and also for data tracking so that you can know how to get around accidents and slow traffic in other areas. Okay. Supply chains are huge. Walmart is using it for farmers to store. That's the Food Trust database Food Trust blockchain developed by IBM. UPS is doing it for the same thing, to manage and monitor packages going to and from people's houses. Billiton, I'm not as familiar with Billiton, but they're using it for their supply chain as well. Samsung, using it to manage their electronics shipments coming from suppliers to them. Nestle is also part of the same blockchain that Walmart is, the Food Trust blockchain, so they're also using it for their purposes. And then FedEx is using it for the same reason that UPS is using it. So supply chains tend to be the most prolific of applications for the blockchain.
Yeah, one thing I note here, the Food Trust Network especially, you notice that there's some of these supply chains that are built to make sure they track things better so that they can make sure they get their packages on time, that sort of thing. But then there's also this aspect of we want to increase trust with our consumers. So Nestle, they do a huge wide range of products, but they're implementing it for baby food products, the things we want to be able to trust the most and have the most secure. Same thing with Walmart. It's about increasing trust for the consumer to know where their products came from. How
Produce in particular.
Yeah, produce specifically.
Yeah, and I've come across 2 or 3 others in the food industry that are using the Food Trust database as well, blockchain as well. Prudential has got a small to medium trading platform that's platformed on blockchain. And then there's one that is now defunct. Sad. We needed to have a funeral for it during the last class, and that is the Maersk offering that they show on that particular graphic. They had a blockchain system for tracking the movement of shipping across the oceans. Maersk, along with 16 of their competitors, were all involved in it, but they couldn't get to that critical level of profitability before shipping started going down after COVID. It was doing well during COVID, of course, because there was a lot of shipping to manage. But when shipping containers shipments started declining, they didn't have a critical mass of profit of movement so that they could maintain profitability, and decided to end that particular one. Robert, did you have a comment on this one?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I have to say it is probably the most ambitious blockchain for business ever created so far.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
just couldn't quite make it.
Yep. It was very, very ambitious and therefore very, very expensive as well. Okay. So that concludes that particular presentation. Just wanted to give you a feel for how big of an exploration exercise this class is going to be. We've got a lot that we can cover, and of course, we won't actually cover all of it. So it comes time now for the last of the class, and that is to sign in with your name. Let me know that you're still here, and I'll make sure that I look at the last of this, at the end of this, to make sure I give everyone credit. So go ahead and post that, And any questions, I'll keep looking for questions until people sign off. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I'll continue answering them as long as we're still on for the next 5 minutes anyway. Alrighty. So I see Amy and Ebony and Lamar, Sean, Amber, James, Tristan, Ryan. Okay, Ryan. Nehal. Okay. Bad at pronouncing names. I'm sorry. Brandon, Brock, Kyle, Allison, Feho. Interesting name. Did it make everyone create a channel? You had to have a channel to join, yes. In order to participate in the chat, you had to create. You don't actually create a channel, you just create an account. And you should have used a Gmail account that you had, or if you didn't have one, you probably were forced to at least create a Gmail address. So, and then Jihad, Adriana, and Adriana did have to, yes. So if you didn't have an account, later on it's kind of a throwaway account if you don't want to keep it. So thank you for the thumbs up there. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. It looks like everybody has signed off. We'll look forward to seeing your introductions, and I'll grade those, and I'll make sure you get credit for being here. And hope to see everyone again next week. We'll see you then. Bye.